What's going on, everybody? Life versus lymphedema. Brian is back. I got George with me as always. Something very interesting happened to me, I guess Sunday night. The Sunday after Thanksgiving. I'll put the date down here because I don't know what date it is. But I've been working on these videos to get up to you guys. Videos of me getting wrapped, videos of me in physical therapy, videos of me using my pump. All that is coming. But in real time, getting out of bed Sunday night, I nicked my bed, I cut myself open, and I've been leaking. Sometimes it's called weeping. That's when there's leaking or weeping or crying coming from your lymphedema knot. It usually comes out like tears, and it comes out very slowly, and it comes out forever. You normally don't feel it when it happens. My leg is pretty numb. I don't ever feel it, but you wake up the next day, you see there's a puddle in your bed and you wonder where it came from. It came from your leg or wherever your lymphedema extremity is. So I'm going to show you the steps I took to patch this hole once I realized I didn't have any Band-Aids or any gauze pads, something that anybody with lymphedema should have on hand. I'm going to show you my makeshift patch, and in real time, right now, we're going to see if we're over it. I'm leaking. This is never a good thing. It's never a good thing. I've been leaking for about 12 hours now, and lots of people have asked how you deal with it. Sometimes it's called crying. But what happened is literally I was getting off of the bed and my leg kicked aside. I didn't know I was leaking until later on when I got back in bed, and I woke up and saw there was a wet spot in the bed down where my leg was, because this, even though it seems like an insignificant drip, it drips at this rate forever, and it'll go on and on. So I'll show you how I'm going to deal with it. So there's two things I'm going to put on this. I'm going to put a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a little bit of peroxide. I'm going to start with the rubbing alcohol. If you have a napkin, that's fine. For this, I'm going to use cotton swab. I feel that. Next, a little bit of peroxide. I spilled it, but you know, nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. Get nice and moist in there. Next is Band-Aids. I don't have the larger Band-Aids like I should. I'm going to go to CVS tomorrow and grab some. Don't know why I'm out, but this is what I got. I needed both hands to put it on, so I couldn't film it. It's a waterproof Band-Aid, but it's tiny and it's flimsy. I'm going to get better ones tomorrow. But I'm going to put some tape over it. So I have the Band-Aid down. I have tape over top of it. And already I can feel like there's no wetness right here. It's pretty dry. So we'll see what happens in a few hours. This isn't quite doing it. So I need to come up with something else. So a few hours later, it's pretty dry under here. It's pretty dry. This has really closed everything up, but this is very, very wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it, and I'm going to put a little more behind it, and hopefully it'll stay. I kind of don't want to mess with it because this is all dry. For a long time, this was wet, this was damp. I decided to let it stay the way it was for a while, but I don't want to take any chances. So I'm going to come up with something else. I'm going to take a shower and then come up with something else. All right, so I had to make a makeshift large Band-Aid, and I used very simply tape and cotton swabs. Cotton swab over the actual spot that's leaking, tape over that, and then cotton swab underneath it in case some runs down. So I'm going to keep this pressed against my leg for the rest of the night, and tomorrow morning we will check and see if I had leakage overnight. The leakage puddles from these things can be, God, it can be the size of a bedwetting puddle. It really can. This puddle was probably about 6 to 8 inches in diameter. I already changed my sheets and flipped my mattress. So we'll see what happens. So I'm up next morning. This is starting to come off, the bottom one, but it is completely dry. We are done here. See, completely dry. I actually need to get some lotion on that ASAP. But this, the makeshift pad I made, is completely dry, which means the leaking should be over. Now, when you start leaking, it usually goes for about 24 to 48 hours, depending on how big the cut is. So when I thought this was all said and done, and I said we're done here, I pulled it off and it looked like this. So even though this side is dry, this side is still very yellow and disgusting. So I put another one on. Keep in mind, this happened Sunday. I dealt with it all day Monday. It's now Tuesday. It is 4:15 on Tuesday afternoon. I have somewhere to be at 6. So I want to get this done in real time right now. I'm about to snatch the one I have on my leg off. Let's see if you can hear it. You hear that? I snatched it the wrong way. Here it is. So this is me pulling it off my leg. It has a very little bit of yellow, but there's a lot of white, which tells me that it's over. It's definitely done. So the first question you may have is, well, why didn't you just wrap your leg? The leaking, if it comes out and it gets through your wraps, you have to wash them. It gets disgusting. It increases the chance for infection. And we don't want that. That's the last thing we want. So I'm looking at it right now. I'm gonna have to show you this. It's actually scabbed over. You can see the circle right there, the indentation from where it was. It's actually scabbed over. It's actually covered. Pretty good. I can squeeze it a little bit. No more leaking, no more crying. But to be safe, I am going to clean it one more time. One ball with peroxide, one ball with alcohol. Clean it one more time. And then I'm going to put another fresh one on. Like, you can't take these things too seriously. I mean, not too seriously. You can't take these things seriously enough because I got the alcohol swab on. I don't feel any burning, which means the cut's closed, which is what I thought would happen. But you don't want to play around with these things. So, swab comes out pretty white. No yellow discharge. So, if you start weeping, you start leaking, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. And the reason I'm cutting in front of all these other videos is because leaking and weeping is something that happens to a lot of people. And they always wonder what to do about it. I'm just showing you what I do about it. I mean, we're all experts in our own body until we get taught otherwise. So if anyone else has any other techniques they use for weeping, I'm all ears. Now, I suggest anybody who has lymphedema keep Band-Aids and gauze pads on hand, along with rubbing alcohol and peroxide. Because if it gets cut, if it starts leaking, if it starts weeping, it is imperative that you keep it clean. Any cut, any opening on your exposed, any opening exposure to any cut on your lymphedema extremity can get you an infection. Infections travel faster down there. It can lead to cellulitis. It can lead to sepsis infections and worse. So keep it clean and take it seriously. I feel no type of way about walking around with freaking athletic tape and cotton balls on my leg because as funny as it looks, it's not worth the risk of leaving it naked and having it get you sick. So that's it for me. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. I've been real busy lately, so I haven't been keeping up with the comments like I should, but I'm going to get back into it. If there's any video in particular you guys want to see next, let me know. Piece of tape, cotton ball. That's my makeshift Band-Aid. I was going to go buy some Band-Aids today, but why do I when I can make them at home for free? And right on the spot. Yeah, if you have, again, I have a couple of videos coming down the pike. I got me using the lymphedema pump. I have some more rap sessions with my physical therapist and along with physical therapy. So if there's a video, I'm working on all of them at the same time. If there's a video in particular you guys want to see first, let me know. The reason I've rushed this one is because so many people have a problem with leaking. And I personally, I've had this lymphedema knot for, 12, 13 years. And my first time leaking was 3 months ago. It's the first time it had ever happened. So, there you go. Y'all have a nice day, and I'll catch you soon.
This is the Her House Podcast. That's my daddy.